User research is an important part of the product development cycle. In this video, I'm going to introduce you to a more linear approach that will help you to speed up your process, help the collaboration between teams, and also without breaking the bank. So what is the lean UX research? Well, it's about to saving a lot of time. So in this case, we're not gonna play by the book. The way I like to do is to be very flexible. There are no perfect method, and the best way for you is to adapt your methodology to your own context. So how do you adapt to your own context? Well, sometimes you don't have so much budget or so much time. What I like to do is talking to my colleagues. They already know a lot about the eventual user or product I'm trying to build. So maybe they have already the expertise I need to look for. This is free. The good thing about working and interview your own colleague is you building a better collaboration with your colleague. So you're also increasing the maturity of the whole team. For example, I invite them during the user interview meeting so they can see the user by themselves. What is my lean UX design approach? Well, I'm gonna have to identify clearly the problem I'm trying to solve based on all the insight I'm gathering through my coding interview or the user interview, and also the best practice of UX research. I'm gonna be able to identify my hypothesis. Those hypotheses will be maybe a feature or a design solution to solve the main problem I identify. I'm gonna be able to create a small design solution. So I recommend for you to create a small Figma prototype. With this prototype, you will be able to test quickly your hypothesis. This Figma prototype, I really recommend for you to be the most realistic possible. So include all the real data, including the real possible flow. Sync with the engineer to see if your prototype is realistic in terms of development, because it's only when you experience the product that you can actually gathering feedback from that. Next, run your experience. Go see your user on the field. That's the best way actually to trying to see how they're gonna use the product in a real context. After I conduct all the different experimentation, what I'm trying to do is to iterate on the go. So usually I modify the prototype even I didn't finish the whole research. I modify because I don't want to wait to see 5 times the same behavior where I can already fix this elephant in the room. Lastly, we need to validate our assumption. And the best way to doing that is actually to ship it. So what I'm trying to do is to ship early as possible, because even your prototype on Figma is the most realistic possible with real data and so on. It will be never the same as the user using the real app. So in this case, I will sync with the developer if we can ship a quick first 0.5 version of the feature I want to ship. We're gonna see quickly if we're aiming in the good direction. So don't try to build a whole rocket at once. Delivery maybe small iteration directly in the code. That's much more powerful, and we can adjust. Maybe my version is actually too much feature at the end for the user. Maybe they only need 10% of what I designed. Even on the user test, they told me they would like to have the full set. Some user will tell you something on the user test and the opposite when they have the final product in the end. So you're like, well, I spent a lot of time and money building a rocket ship, but at the end, the user only wants a bicycle, you know? Make it very small iteration if you can. Now, before we leave, here's some key takeaway for you. Test and iterate. It's important to embrace the uncertainty and to test early as possible. Don't forget to collaborate with your team. This is very important to including your team at the very beginning of your process and not only at the very end. Your research is never by the book. It's very difficult to follow all the design principles that you can read on internet. So keep in mind, even is a scrappy research, it's better than no research. It's all about how you can maximize your value. Focus on the most important part of the design you want to test. You don't need to test the whole design pattern that already used in bigger company. Test only what is critical to your experience, to your user. Thank you for watching this video. Let me know what is your actual technique for doing user research on your site. Do you using also the lean approach, or do you using other technique I didn't know? I would like to know about your experience in the comment below. Don't forget to follow, like, and subscribe. That will be very helpful for other people to discover the best way to do user research on a small budget. Don't miss out on the next video, because we will talk about how we can share this finding to your stakeholder and be heard. That's very important. Great, you did the research, but how do you share this in a most efficient way? That will be the topic. So click here for the next video.